Hi, my name is Sean Nary, and I am a middle school mathematics teacher at Virgins Union Middle School in Virgins, Vermont. I've been doing that for about 13 years, teaching 7th and 8th grade mathematics there, and I love it. I love working with the kids. I love putting curriculum together. Not crazy about grading papers, but overall I love my job. And Virgins wasn't my first gig either, I could say that. I taught for 5 years in Chelsea, Vermont, and did part-time teaching in Montpelier and Twinfield prior to that. So grand total, I've got about 20 years teaching, and I've seen a lot of changes over those years. Anybody who's been at it long enough, you hear the things about ideas being recycled and how all of a sudden you've got this new thing coming in, and it's that thing that you were doing a dozen years ago or so. Well, yeah, I've seen all of that. But one thing that I'm seeing now more than ever is a huge gap. A huge gap between the kids who are struggling, who are just, they come into school and doing school is incredibly hard for them. For whatever reason or reasons, because there's oftentimes many of them, they struggle to do well in school. On the other end of the thing, we've got kids who are bored in class, kids who are not being challenged, not nearly meeting their potential because it's just easy. It's way too easy for them. We have so many programs in school that cater to the kids who are struggling. We've got 504s, IEPs, ESTs. We've got speech-language pathologists. We've got school-based clinicians. We've got paraprofessionals and special educators co-teaching, focusing in classes where the neediest kids are. We have so little to help the kids on the other side who are bored. The kids who are needing a challenge and aren't getting it because we're teaching to the middle. Or we're focused on kids who are struggling in our classes, trying to bring them up so they're proficient. We've got to do better by those other kids. Let's face it, people. We've got some challenges in this world that are incredible. Do you believe in global warming? Geez, that's a tough one, right? Well, we've got some major problems. Watch the news for one night and count how many different significant issues are going on. Look at the challenges that your kids are going to face and your grandkids are going to face. Who's going to solve those problems? I think we've got sharp minds in our classrooms right now who can do it. But we've got to help them. We've got to challenge those kids and give them the opportunities to persevere and challenge themselves and work through things so that they can solve those problems for us. When we're needing somebody to change our diapers and give us our medicine, they can be solving the problems of the world. It's not all going to get solved before you and I retire. We can use that help. It's not easy for me to talk about a need to possibly track some of those kids. And I don't think we should track them in every single class. But I want to speak for a second about my own personal experience to let you know that I've seen the badness of tracking kids. And I know what that's about, so we need to be cautious about how we do this thing. I went to school in Cromwell, Connecticut, and I was in 7th grade there, and they had 7 tracks, okay? So 7-1, that was the highest flyers. 7-2, well, they were still flying pretty high, all the way down to 7-7. And I personally, I was in 7-2, and I remember thinking, geez, how come I'm not in 7-1? Must be I'm not really smart. And I remember the worst beating that I ever got coming from a kid in 7-7. And it was, on its face, it was over a dime. But I really believe that that beating was because it was an opportunity for Harold to get at a kid in 7-2 who he saw maybe looking down on him. I don't think I did that, but I'm sure that the kids in 7-6 and 7-7 in particular, they felt like, everybody else thought they were better than them. And I'm sure a lot of people did think that. Maybe I thought that, which is a scary thought to me. In any case, it was a chance for him to get at one of us, and he did in a big way. Yeah, still remember walking home and feeling my face pounding and swelling up from that beating. That was not a pleasant thing. So anyways, I think we have to be very careful about how we do this thing, but we've got to do some things to challenge those kids. And it cannot be just, okay, Susie, I see that you're doing very well and you've got all of this done, and Rebecca's having a hard time with her stuff, so would you please come over and give her a hand with this and show her how to do it, and you'll learn a lot. Believe me, you're going to learn a lot by showing somebody else how to do this. Yes, it's true. Susie will learn a lot from showing somebody else, but she's got to learn more than how to help somebody else. She's got to learn how to help herself and persevere through some challenging problems, not just get through things quickly and move on and help somebody else. Those kids who school comes easily to, they need to be challenged and inspired on a regular basis, and not just by giving extra work to them, but giving work that's appropriate to their level. We've got to listen to them and see what they know, and then make sure that we're meeting them there and taking them that next step. So that's a challenge. We're working so hard to meet kids at so many different levels. We all know that time is of the essence. We've got all the planning to do. We've got these classes that we sometimes have to take during the school year, which can be quite a challenge. So how do we fit all of this in? Well, I want to share a couple resources that slid off my desk. But anyways, a couple resources specific to mathematics anyways that I really heavily believe in. One of them is the mathematics teaching in the middle school. And it's an awesome resource for problems. Really, there's stuff in here for all levels of mathematics learners in the middle school. But especially for kids at the higher end, there's some this palette of problems piece that they do every single month where there's 10 different problems. And they're of all different kinds. And what I do is I go through and each month I'll chunk out, okay, this is a great area and perimeter problem, or that's a great probability problem. And I'll set those aside in a file and I'll say, okay, when we get to area and perimeter, here's a bunch of really great problems for you. And let them have at those, because oftentimes the textbooks, they're written for the middle of the road. They're not really written for those higher end learners. So that's a good one. Way better than that even is math counts. And math counts is dynamite for your kids who are excelling. I guarantee that there are problems not just in these books, but in the competitions in particular that will challenge anybody. I've got a kid right now who is in the 8th grade, and he's already doing math that challenges our highest high school teachers. And there's no question in the next year, and he's already doing some college level mathematics. He's always come down to my room. I don't even teach him anymore. He's in the high school classes. And he's always coming down to my room and he's sharing things with me that I have to ask him to slow down and repeat this and please, I'm getting it, but it's going to take me a little time. That's where he's at. And Math Counts gives him problems that challenge him, things that he's got to research and really think through. So I guarantee there's something for your highest learners in there. I hope that you'll think carefully about this. It's something that I struggle with right now, and And I want to make sure that we're doing kids at all levels the service that they deserve. Thank you.